You're watching PEGRI TV, Rhode Island's public access channel.
Oh, you didn't know? Yes, it is.
Welcome everybody to the Hot Tag. Brought to you by the Official Wrestling Museum. We are your hosts. I am Angel, and I am joined by the Official Wrestling Museum's Hall of Famer.
No life.
And we are here because of you guys, because you guys have sent questions into the Official Wrestling Museum, and we are the privileged ones that get to answer your questions. So thank you very much. Make sure you guys scan that QR code on the screen. Help us get National Pro Wrestling Day throughout the United States. We already have it here in Rhode Island on June 13th each and every year. And check out our shows this week because we're all over this network, and it's we're very happy to do that. And we have Figures Are Us this week. We're going to be talking about the toy title belts, the history behind them, what they're worth, which ones we liked, and held up pretty good. Four Corners this week, we're going to talk about the worst gimmicks that we feel.
That should be a fun one. Should be a fun one.
That should be interesting. We have to name them down to only four. That's going to be tough.
Right.
And we're answering your questions here. Make sure free preview. We got part number 2 still happening for you guys if you haven't catch it yet with us, Stu, and your tag partner.
Sergeant Striker.
Absolutely kicking it and letting everybody know.
Who? Sergeant Striker, again, not here.
Yes.
He's over in France.
Yeah,
Doing
he's still out there doing stuff.
basically
for
where
us.
you see the big company goes, he kind of tags
Yeah,
along.
that's what happens with the Official Wrestling Museum. You know, we send our guys out there and we network into the community as much as we possibly can.
Who better than him, you know?
Yeah, and we love to give back. That's what professional wrestling's all about. It's not to be closed-minded or self-centered. It's to honestly just give back to the community. And that's
Speaking
what
of,
Off the
right,
Ropes is about this week.
Yeah, you had a good transition last week.
I know.
You had a couple good transitions.
I know. I don't know what's happening to me. But yeah, this week we're Off the Ropes talk about our community outreach program. We think it's really important to get it out there, let you guys know how you guys can take advantage of it by just reaching out to us and having us a part of anything that's coming on, and where we've been. It's going to be pretty cool. We're going to talk about a couple of things that you've been a part of.
I threw this one out there to the museum. I thought of this idea, and it's a question, so let me throw a question out.
Okay.
Wouldn't it be, now if I was a kid, this is just a hypothetical. So if I was a kid,
Okay, good.
wouldn't a cool idea be to, I'm going to have to talk to the museum about this.
Yeah.
Wouldn't a cool thing, instead of just having a bounce house or this or that for your birthday party, what if you had your own personal wrestling show? In your
You know
backyard,
what?
you set up a ring, you have whatever, an hour's worth of matches, and then the kids get in the ring and play around a little.
That is a pretty cool idea.
That's a good, I think I'm going to have to
really
open
is.
up a business here.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Don't step in the toes of the museum here. You know, they're offering you some more cheese on the side over here.
I don't know, man. That's something. That's a question. So my
That is-
question, I guess, would be, if you were a kid and you had your choice of a magician, a horse, all the kids can ride the horse, or your own personal wrestling show. I know what I would have picked.
Yeah, I would definitely go with my own personal wrestling show. I have done a couple of those throughout my career, very few amounts,
Yeah.
because a lot of companies don't like to do that. You can't really market your company in the
Right.
sense of keeping storylines going.
Maybe
a
also
lot of
a little.
workers don't
Well, it
like
would
to
be a
do
one-off
it.
kind of show, though, you know.
Right,
And
but it's
also, I
something
could
we-
imagine, like, if you want to let the kids play around, there might be the worry of, okay, if this kid falls and
Right.
breaks his ankle.
But there's always waivers
sign
and
a
stuff.
waiver,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's always ways to go around
I mean, think
it.
about it. You got all these places like Launch and all these trampoline parks. You got to sign a waiver
Yeah.
for 20 minutes before you can even get
You
into
got to sign waivers for anything.
Right.
I remember us coming out to this TV studio. They're like, any person that's a part of your crew or anything else. I went, okay, here we go.
All right. Well, let's get started with the.
Yeah, let's do it. Thank you guys for sending your questions in.
What is the top injury in professional wrestling? It's funny that I get that question.
Right?
So, I, 2003, broke my ankle pretty bad. Turned my foot completely sideways, dislocated my foot, fractured my ankle, broke the. It's been 20 years, so I can't even remember the tibia or fibula or whatever, and that pretty much took me out. I mean, when I said in previous shows I took like almost 20 years off. That was pretty much the reason, and that was for me. That was the worst injury. But let's talk about bad injuries. Let's go with a leg injury. I'm going to go with Sid breaking his leg.
Yeah.
Candido is one that hits home to me. Maybe Candido hits home to me because it was a very similar injury, and then he ended up passing. But I have two in mind, and I'll say one and let you say one, and then if it's not the second one I was going to say, I'll go to it. But Sid was gruesome.
Yeah, that would be the one that I think.
Number one, he had no business coming off the second turnbuckle.
Absolutely not.
Second, it looked bad. We just call it the floppy boot. And third, that was it for Sid. It was gross to watch.
Yeah.
So that would be my number one.
I think, if you're talking injuries, I think that was probably the worst one.
Worst looking. I'd say worst looking. Right. I think there was a worse one. This is not counting Owen Hart, obviously.
Obviously.
But I'll let you say. Do you have another? Do you have one in mind?
I was thinking that I don't know. I was kind of thinking maybe in a generic form of injuries.
Yeah.
I would think probably a concussion is probably the most common one that's happened.
Yeah.
But the pain you live on a daily basis.
Yeah.
From wrestling.
Wear and tear.
Oh my God. It's
even at our level,
cripples you.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah, I was thinking more specific ones like
who's the other one?
Draws, obviously, getting paralyzed.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember the guy's name, but Marty Jannetty did the rocket drop, and he broke his neck. And then another one that was pretty bad. This is on the Facebook level. I'm sure people have seen if they're big wrestling fans. Have you seen the Facebook video of the guy? They're doing a backyard show, and they have the ring, and he's dressed up like Sting, the Wolfpack Sting, he goes up to the second turnbuckle, woo, and then jumps down, and I don't even know how to describe it. His body goes forward, his legs go like that's gruesome.
Yeah, it really was. That's why when they say don't try this stuff at home, don't get yourself professionally trained, because even if you are trained, you can really get hurt, and it's just better to.
Yeah, there's been a lot of injuries, but those are the top ones that come to mind.
Do you like when Crush joined Axe and Smash? That's a good question for you.
Yeah, I'm a big Demolition fan, so I think as I get older, Axe and Smash are the team, and I've lessened on Crush. And it's funny, I've talked with people that I talk with, and I seem to be the one that's more like, Crush was Crush. When I was younger, Crush had an awesome look. He had that long mullet. Mullets were cool at the time. He was a big guy. He could, for a big guy, he would come off the top with like an elbow or something. Wasn't aerial, but definitely fit the look. And Axe was my favorite out of them all. So Axe taking a back seat kind of bothered me a little bit. But as you get older and you realize, okay, Axe he had that shellfish allergic reaction. And so I think it fit. I think Crush is kind of unique in wrestling, where he really went on with so much character work. Not character work, but
yeah, I agree with that. Yeah,
I just saw someone ask this recently. Was Crush the same Crush the entire time? Like, okay, Crush and Demolition, I would not consider as Kona Crush. Once he became Kona Crush, okay, because then he turned on the Macho Man. Then he went to, in storyline or whatever, disappeared. He went to jail, came back as the Jailbird Crush, joined the. So from Kona Crush on, I think Crush was that character. Demolition Crush, I think he was separate.
Yeah, he was definitely something different. I actually liked the look of Crush coming out with Demolition. I thought it was more impressive. But I also seen that was the start of the end of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was something. I think if they were here, even though the style is totally different, but if those three were here today and he was still alive, would make a really big impact if they were able to wrestle the three of them.
You know, by the time the Legion of Doom came into WWE, WWF, it's funny, I said WWE now.
Right?
By the time they came
it's
into
off day for you.
WWF, Axe was on his way out. So when you had the LOD Demolition feud, it was with Crush and Smash as opposed to Axe and
Right.
Smash. So that never lived up to the height that it should have. But Crush, as much as he looked the part, he also had a different look. He was a lot bigger, and he moved differently. So you know, you could have picked worse people than Crush. I think he was fine. You know, I like him.
Yeah, I've always a fan of Crush.
He had that probably my favorite guy to use in WrestleFest, the arcade game.
Yeah.
he was.
Yes.
He had that tilt-a-whirl slam. Mm-hmm. All right, Demolition. I would like to do a whole show on booking Demolition, their whole WWF run. If
Did you hear that?
maybe we'll do a show like that.
Get ideas, write them down.
All right.
It makes them happy.
Best theme song, Hillbilly Jim or Coco Beware? Now, by Coco Beware, are we going to go with Pile Driver or Bird, Bird, Bird? Because if it's Pile Driver, I'm sorry, I'm picking Pile Driver. That is a classic. Especially, and the video is a great video, but come on, Coco Beware with his pipe singing Pile Driver. I'm picking Pile Driver all day. I'm not going with the bird.
So
bird
I will
one.
go with the Bird song in comparison, and I will still pick Coco Beware.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just something about them to get you going and get the fans pumped up. You always have questions for the questions.
Because I need to define them. You know, I need
Well,
to.
I understand that, but it's not like the people are here in the studio asking them.
So you're going with Bird's the Word or whatever it
the
was.
Word, yeah.
I'm going with Pile Driver, and I'm picking Pile Driver
so-
over all three of them. The best.
Okay, there you go, Coco. You get the win.
Coco Beware, an underrated talent in WWF.
Absolutely.
I've had that conversation recently with a couple people as well.
How was Luna Vachon in person?
I've never met her, so
She was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
She's a Fisher Wrestling Museum Hall of Famer. I remember meeting her at a very young age at the Walker Musical Theater. She came over, spent a good half hour, 40 minutes just talking away. Really sweet, absolutely great with her gimmick.
Yeah.
And I remember I did a show, I was working for AWA for Johnny Glitter, and they were bringing her in, and we were there, so there was only a couple of us that was representing AWA on this show, and it was like we were brought in for that, and then she was brought in, and this company wanted to impress AWA by not having anybody around anybody, so we had our own locker room. Nobody could go against, around Luna. So we were on deck, so we go upstairs, and there's Luna on the bench, and there's security around her. She's like, Angel. You know that voice? Yeah, I can't even do that voice. Sound more like Tough Daddy there. But,
AWA, was that the promotion out of Maine
so this company.
with the lobster guy? Was that the same?
So, yeah and no. So this company actually it was a development company for WWE. And they started to do independent shows, and then they broke off, and then they ended up going back to NXT and keeping NXT. So this was like that transition part between OVW and, yeah. So there she was, and
keep
she's like,
going,
oh, come on. Yeah. She's like, oh, come on over here, Angel. And the promoter's like, no. She's like, he's sitting with me. We're talking about what we're going to eat after the show. Total sweetheart. She's somebody definitely missed.
You know, when she debuted in WWE with WWF. Why am I doing WWE now?
I don't know. Oh, my
So
God.
when she debuted in WWF, it was with Shawn Michaels, right? She came out at WrestleMania 9, I think, with Shawn Michaels. And
I believe so, yeah.
And then I was just recently told, I couldn't remember. She brought in Bull Nakano. Well, storyline.
Yeah.
She brought in Bull Nakano.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay,
too.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah, I think she did and stuff. She
real-
used to call me.
Yeah.
It's just, how you doing today? Yeah, well, I'm bored right now in the house. Gangrel, she said his name, but I have to keep kayfabe.
I did meet
He's out at the
Gangrel.
store. I'm bored. You want to talk wrestling? What do you want to learn? It was like, oh, cool. And I was young. You know what I
She ended
mean?
up becoming a tow truck driver too, right?
She
Towards the
did,
end?
yeah. Yeah,
Imagine her
Magic
her
Repo by Luna Vachon.
Wait, don't take that. I did meet Gangrel once. It was not like that, but
He was awesome.
I was
too.
at a convention. I didn't go to many conventions. I went to one, and he was coming out of the bathroom, and I was like, "Oh, Gangrel!" I was like, "Can I get a picture with you?" Right outside the. I'm not one of those people like waiting for him. It just so happened that it was there, and I'm like, I don't know if I'll ever meet this guy. And
Right.
Gangrel was such a cool gimmick. So
Yeah, he's an awesome guy.
Your story reminds me of real quick of one I heard Kevin Nash tell, where he was talking about being at like an autograph signing, and they have the line of people, and usually it's just, there you go, thank you, oh, thank you. Maybe they get to say a couple words or something, and people will give them stuff, show them pictures and
Yep.
stuff, and then like I did that with Demolition. It was the only time I wanted to go to a convention and meet someone, and I showed them a couple pictures from when I was a younger kid for Halloween and had the face paint, and I was like, I just want to
That's
show you
cool.
guys. I think you guys are gonna kick
That's
it.
cool.
And Kevin Nash was talking about a guy was showing him a picture, and the security guard was like, "All right, come on." He was like, "Wait a minute, I want to look at this." Like, and that's pretty cool when
Yeah.
when they when it's not just business,
Yep.
All right, sorry to go so long. There.
No, that's good.
Can you name a wrestler? What, haven't we done this before? Can you name a wrestler? You just want to test me.
This
Can
ain't me. These are
name
questions coming in.
Can you name a wrestler? Whoever wants to test me, they like to. Can you name a wrestler with each letter in the alphabet in under 1 minute? Now I know I've done this at least
So
once.
I know we did it back and forth playing the game. So maybe they seen that and they seen how, and it's funny too because after we left, right, we rode to the studio together on that one because we had to catch a flight out, and we're sitting in the car, we're driving down the road, and we're like, man, we forgot this guy and this guy and this guy, and letters that you should have been easy. So, do you want to do it?
Yeah, we'll go for it.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Set, go.
Ahmed Johnson, Bruno Sammartino, Carmella,
Oh,
Tony D'Angelo. Does last names count? No.
Only first
Okay.
names. I'm assuming first names. I'm going to take the bite on that one's first names. Uh-oh. Damn, I forgot what.
D. Demolition Axe.
we'll give it to you.
Ezekiel.
Okay.
F.
Oh, come on. You want a encyclopedia?
Friar Ferguson. G. Giovanni Vinci. H.
probably
Hulk Hogan. I. Ilya Dragunov. L.
30 seconds.
L is
Oh, my God. I'll help you.
Lord of Sean.
There you go.
H. L. M. Man, I'm really.
Oh, my God.
M.
Today's an off day for you.
The Miz.
Yep, 10 seconds.
N.
Oh, my God. Fisher Wrestling Museum Hall of Famer. Oh, time is
Feel
up.
today, man.
Oh, my God. That was, wow. You're off today.
I was off today, yeah.
You were off today.
Throw that one back in there.
We'll do that again.
Throwing that one back in because I got to redeem myself sometime. Go ahead. Shake it up, though. Don't pull that. If you pull that one out today, we won't count it.
Oh, we won't count
That
it?
one has, just so you know, that one has to have like a 2-week. If we pull it out in the next 2 weeks, we put it back in.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right. What team do you think would win? The team of Hawk and Smash or Animal and Axe?
Oh, wow. Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah, it is.
So Hawk and Smash or Animal and Axe?
Yeah.
And that's a good pick, too, because if I was to group them like that, I would say that that's the two
That's
similar
the two,
guys.
right?
Man, you know what? I'm going to say that Hawk and Smash are going to win because Crush is going to interfere and he's going to cost Animal and... Actually, Crush and Animal teamed up. Crush was in LOD for a brief... So you know what? I'm gonna reverse that. Sorry. Crush is going to come in and he's going to help Animal with the win.
Heidenreich can come down and help too.
Who?
Heidenreich.
Well, and draws.
That's
But
true.
Mr. Fuji's coming in on Demolition's beat on the other side.
That is true.
But Mr. Fuji hit Axe with the cane. No,
What
he hit
about Ellery?
Smash. Yeah. So I'm gonna say no. In all,
I really think we took the hell all the
in
way
all
around.
honesty, if you just had the 4 guys, as much as I want to say Animal and Axe, I'm gonna pick Hawk and Smash. I just think that out of all 4 of them, Hawk had the most charisma, and I don't know. I know
think-
that doesn't factor into the win, but I'm gonna say Hawk and Smash.
I'm going to say I think it'll start off, I think you're going to have a great traditional match here. I think Animal and Axe would be over for the most part. But I think at the end, Hawk and Smash would go over. I think that's who they would need to go over because if they were to put these guys back together as a team, if you have the power team beat the speed
How about,
guys.
I'm gonna change my answer. How about this? It's gonna end in a brawl and no one's gonna win.
Oh, okay. You know what? That's
That's a good. I like that question.
Yep.
All right. Who needs or needed a manager but never had one? Wow, there's a lot of guys there. Are we talking forever? I think.
Put the time frame. Put from May 2nd.
You know, maybe instead of just picking one, like people that just cannot talk, like
Yeah,
like
that's the
Omos
biggest
has
thing.
one now at MVP. He definitely needs one. I think there's a lot of like AOP has Paul Ellering.
Yeah, but he don't talk.
Yeah,
Well, he talks, but I don't understand him with him. Like it doesn't make, especially this run, it doesn't fit why he would be there. What would be the purpose behind him?
like
there?
I think honestly, I know that Dakota Kai is with Damage Control, but I really think that if you're gonna have Damage Control be the 3 Asian women, I would like to, and that, well, Shinsuke just got drafted to SmackDown. They went to Raw. I would actually like to see Shinsuke and Damage Control all be in a faction, maybe even Tozawa. Because right now they're not really doing anything with Shinsuke. The Alpha Academy thing is on its last legs because with the Chad
Yeah.
Gable heel turn. I think I would actually like to see Damage Control, Shinsuke, and Akira Tozawa. I know that's grouping all the Asians together, but have them have a manager. I would like that.
I think that's a good idea. I think they need to bring back these factions with a manager, like a Bobby the Brain Heenan or something, to really build these guys up.
If
Yeah.
I don't want to take so much time, there's so many people that if I thought of over the years that could use a manager, you know. But that's I'm just
sitting
thinking
here
of current,
thinking
yeah.
right now, and
I would like to see that. I know, like I said, I know Dakota Kai is the mouthpiece, but I'd rather see her work on her
Yeah.
own. You know,
yeah, me too. Who do you think?
Ronda
who do
Rousey.
they-
Actually, I think Ronda Rousey could have used like a Paul Heyman or someone like that. You know, I think she could use a good mouthpiece.
If Ronda-
Shamrock, I thought maybe. So that's kind of that genre of like Brock Lesnar, Shamrock,
Yeah.
a Ronda Rousey, maybe even a Shayna Baszler. If you're gonna push them as the fighter type, I
Yep.
think they could use a manager.
Yeah, I think so too. I agree with that.
Sorry to interrupt you, but
No,
that-
you're good.
Yeah, it popped in my head.
No, you're good.
I would have
I
went home
agree.
today and said, "Oh,
Yeah, it'd be that car ride.
Yeah.
All right. So how do they come up with the wrestlers' names?
who's they? The man they call Vader? Well, the man that they call Vader.
Right.
So how do they come up with it? There's many ways.
Yeah.
So some can be that the creative process, the people, whichever you want to call them, they might have in their head, I have this idea for a character, and they already have it already planned out. I have this idea, I want this, I want that. We want this guy to look like this, blah, 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 blah. And then they find someone and they put him in that character. And it might not work because it wasn't designed for that guy.
Yep.
Like, for example, like they always say, Bruce Pritchard always says they had a box of gimmicks. And it's like, the most famous thing is they had the Red Rooster and Mr. Perfect. I don't know if this is true or not. This is what has been said.
Yep.
We have Mr. Perfect and Red Rooster. And we have Terry Taylor and Kurt Hennig. Who's going to be which one? And now, it's like, if they had switched them, what would have ever happened? Would the Red Rooster have ever gotten over with Kurt Hennig doing it? I'm not saying yes. I'm saying more no, because that just was a horrible gimmick.
Yeah.
Now, would Mr. Perfect had gotten over with Terry Taylor doing it, I think it would have worked. I don't think it would have worked as good as
Yeah.
Kurt Hennig, because Terry Taylor's a great wrestler.
Right, but
So,
Hennig is
yeah.
just he was that definition of perfect.
Yeah.
He really was.
So, like I said, there's one way of
And
you
that's- I
already
think
have
that's
it
what it comes down
pre-planned.
to.
Do you have
I think
another way you
that's-
want to say?
No, I
or-
think that's really it. I said, well,
there's other ways too,
We
like-
worked on, creative.
Yeah.
And we got some projects going on, and it's you look at a guy, you look at how they can perform in the ring, what they do, how they move, how they talk,
Yeah.
and then you have a character. But now, okay, you have this vision of what you want to be. Well, now you have to come up with a name for it. You know what I mean?
It does go the other way too a little bit, where you can see someone and go, I see this guy being this, and then you create from there. So I mean,
that's-
there's
yeah,
multiple
that's-
ways.
yep.
You know, there could be ways like, for example, in WCW when they had the Kiss Demon, that was a contractual thing with Kiss.
Yeah.
We want our entity out there. We want someone to play our character, and they were forced to play that, or even like supposedly when ECW was rebooted on the Sci-Fi Network, they wanted some sci-fi characters. That's why they had like the zombie and the alien. So there's different ways, but and there's no right or wrong way.
No, there really
they
isn't.
all work or they don't work. Even if you see someone playing, I see this guy being a garbage man, and he tries out, it just might not work. So it's just there's people. It's all in the way that they think. I think like Vince Russo. I think Vince Russo had it where he pretty much had characters planned out, and that was the way it was. And I think with other people, maybe it's, well, I see this guy being this. I think Vince McMahon did a lot of, tell me about your personal life. Oh, Paul Bearer. I was an Undertaker.
Undertaker.
Look what he ended up doing. So there's many different ways,
I think we get to one more question.
Yeah.
Then I think it's your turn. I'll let you pull.
All right, whatever. I'll do it.
Yeah,
Let's
I
see.
think I read
Hopefully
that
it's
one.
not that 1 minute one, but then again, we'll not be doing that anyway. So
Right?
Okay.
Is it?
Was Man Mountain Rock a good gimmick? And if so, why? So my answer is no. I think he was better in WCW when he was Max Payne.
Yeah.
I think that worked. When he came to WWF, he had the guitar with the WWF logo and wearing the tie-dye. No. And I think the biggest thing he's ever going to be remembered for in WWF is, didn't he supposedly film a lot of stuff in the back and release his own personal kind of a documentary backstage stuff?
Kinda,
And it was
sorta,
a lot of stuff that didn't need to be seen. But Max Payne worked, and he teamed with Cactus Jack. Man Mountain Rock to me was, you sign a big guy and put him out there, and that's probably one of those things. What can you do? I can play the guitar. Go on out there and play the guitar, pal.
Well, I think that's what it was when it came to him. I was always a fan of Man Mountain Rock, but they never let him actually perform in the ring.
Right.
You know what I mean? To me, I thought he should be a whole lot more aggressive and it just really wasn't. I loved his guitar. I think his guitar was absolutely
I just remember
amazing.
seeing him on Superstars on the Saturday mornings. He played the guitar, and,
and that was
he
it.
might have a match here or there, but very rarely.
Very rarely. Well, we thank you guys very much for sending your questions in. Keep sending them in, because without you, we can't do this show. We just sit here doing nothing.
I love this show.
Yeah,
this
this
is my favorite show.
Yeah, this is one that we don't know none of the answers. We don't know none of the questions prior to taping this, and it's
Some answers we don't know.
Yeah, some of them we get what?
Naming
Yeah,
wrestlers
I
and
was
women.
surprised. You might need to get
I
checked.
struggled.
Yeah, today was an off day for you.
Man Mountain Rock.
There you go.
That's where I struggled.
Or
I
like
said-
Nancy Benoit or Nails.
Nails.
There's a whole bunch that we can go with. I won't throw you under the bus right now. Thank you guys very much for tuning in this week. Keep sending your questions in. Scan that QR code, because with your help, we can make this happen for National Pro Wrestling Day. And you know what they say.
They. Just like they create.
Yeah, that might have been the name of the show. The questions and answers. No, but you know what they say. You write the questions.
And we got the answers.
See you next week, folks.